Okay, good evening, dear ladies. Let's bless בעזרת השם שיתגלה משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו, אמן. שיגיע מבשר אליהו, נביא אליהו, תשבי אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה משיח ודוד אלינו וזכו לטוב, בסייעתא דשמיא. Today is also the yahrzeit of the Baba Sali, Rabbi Israel Abu Chatzer, alav shalom zchuto tagen elenu, Bezrat Hashem. May His merit protect us and Klal Yisrael, Bezrat Hashem, and reveal Mashiach Tzidkenu now, Bezrat Hashem. I would like, Bezrat Hashem, to remind you, Livriut, that the month, we are inside the month of Shvat, and tonight is already the 4th of Shvat, and Shvat, dear ladies, is the initial of Shenitbaser, Bsorot Tovot. May Hashem give us good news. This is the initial of the month, the initials of the month of Shvat, Bezrat Hashem, Shenitbaser Bsorot Tovot, and it's also Shiduchim, Bsorot Tovot. As Bezrat Hashem, like already we spoke about it, that this year, Tafshin Ayin Zayin, this is a year of Shiduchim. Everybody's getting married, Bezrat Hashem. Nobody's alone anymore. Teheh Bezrat Hashem, Shana im Zivugim. As Bezrat Hashem upon us and Klal Yisrael Bezrat Hashem. This is the initials of this year, Bezrat Hashem. So everybody is getting married with a happy heart. And Binyan HaDe'at Bezrat Hashem, Mushtat al Torah ve'mitzvot ve'maasim tovim Bezrat Hashem. So last lesson we spoke about Shovavim. And we didn't have time to finish with Shovavim because how it's connected to Tehillim. And I wanted to tell you, I don't think I had time to tell you over here, but usually at the time of Shovavim, you'll see the men that they fast twice a day. Monday and Thursday, when the book of Torah is open. From the morning until after Arvit, they fast twice a day. Usually it's Monday, Thursday, twice a week, Monday, Thursday and Monday, or Thursday, Monday and Thursday, Bezrat Hashem. But you know what we do? We do Ta'anit Dibur. Us as women, we do Ta'anit Dibur. And the Gaon Mevilna says, Zchuto tagen elenu, that it's better to do Ta'anit Dibur, a fast of speech, than to do a fast of eating. Why? Because when we eat, we are doing fixing to the souls that are reincarnated in the food. And that's why the Baal Shem Tov says, Zchuto tagen elenu, that our hand goes to a specific, we have grapes over here, all of them look the same. But still we take a branch from this, not this branch, but this branch. Why? Because there's Ashgacha Pratit, the divine presence, that sees that we'll take the food that has sparks of holiness that are connected to our soul. What you have over here, and Hashem called you to come over here, it's not in vain, because inside the food that we are eating and blessing, there's a soul that is reincarnated in the food. And each one of us are taking the one that these sparks of holiness are connected to us, to each soul individually. And this is how we are making a tikkun. So the Gaon Mivilna says it's better to do a fast of speech than to do a fast of eating. Because we're doing a mitzvah. We're having a mitzvah of saying the bracha before and then saying the after bracha, Baruch Hashem. But with a speech, it's very hard. We do a lot of sins with a speech. The second temple was ruined because of Lashon Hara, of slandering, of Sinat Chinam. The slandering caused Lo Alenu Sinat Chinam. Sinat Chinam is Ken.
Ta'anit Dibur, do you...
I'll explain in a minute.
No, but do you bless?
No, you don't. Shh. I'll explain in a minute. Dear ladies, when we do Ta'anit Dibur, we'll touch it in a minute. What I wanted to say is that when we have the Ta'anit Dibur, the Gaon Mevilna says, why is it so important? Because false hatred starts with the mouth. Why is Pharaoh called Pharaoh? Why is Pharaoh called Pharaoh? Because Paro, dear ladies, look at Paro. Paro is pe, temuim pe ra. It's a bad mouth that slanders, that says bad things. You see pe ra. So how do we fix it? We need to have pe good, pe tov. We need to fix it. So look at women. Ish is written like this: Aleph Yud Shin. This is a man, and a woman is Aleph Shin Yud, Isha. You see it over here? So Rabbi Akiva says, if בסייעתא דשמיא זכו Ish and Isha, a man and a woman, have the merit after they get married, Hashem, the divine presence, is among them. Why? Because the Ish has the Yud of Hashem and the Isha has the Hey, so Hashem is among them. Yes, it's present. The divine presence is in their house. And if they didn't have the zchut, lo alenu, fire eats them. And you can see fire is esh in Hebrew, and you see the ish is aleph shin, this is fire. Without the yud, it's fire. The isha aleph shin, without the hey, it's also fire. What is the difference between ish and isha? The difference is that between aleph of the fire and shin of the fire of a man, there's a yud that separates it. But in the woman, we don't have the yud. It's one after the other. Aleph and Shin, Esh. Why? Because this is the fire of speech, Dibur. Because sometimes we fight with our husbands or our children inside for nonsense. We don't think before we speak. We get angry and we just shoot out everything that we have in our mouth. We don't pause for a minute to think logically before we speak. And then most of the time we regret it. And then we ask forgiveness, and then we put money in charity box and kiss a mezuzah and say, Baruch Hosea Shalom, please Hashem do peace. So first of all, slandering starts at home. Even with the husband, about the children, and about the in-laws, or about the aunts, uncles, it starts at home. So perach me'apeh et atzmo me'apeh et hagan. A person b'siyata dishmaya that makes himself beautiful makes the whole garden beautiful. So it starts with us. So what is, dear ladies, the power of women? It says in the Gemara that 10 amounts of speech came to the world. 9 took the woman, and the one that was left, the men took, and animals and everything. But 9 of the amounts of speech took the woman. So we have, our power is our mouth. V'akol kol Yaakov, especially the children of Israel. Their voice is the voice of Yaakov. So we can use the mouth for good things. We can pray, we can bless with our mouth, Be'ezrat Hashem. We should use the mouth for our livelihood, everything that we need for our livelihood. But chas v'shalom, not leshon hara, slandering. Chas v'shalom, not use it to criticize other people. To think that, I would like to explain to you something. When we criticize other people and when we judge them, it means that we think that we are very righteous, that we can judge other people. And the only judge in the world, this is a big surprise, is only Hashem. Hashem is the judge, not us. We just came here as visitors. We come to this world and we go out of this world. And the world is temporary. We know, the only thing that we know that is definite 100% is that if we came to the world, we're also going to go out of this world. Nothing else is definite in this world. But this is definite. If we came in, we're going to go out. So why we are so strong and have a lot of pride and speak about other people. Dear ladies, please pay attention. So our speech should be only for holy things, Be'ezrat Hashem, and only for our livelihood, and to find the merit of each person, every Jew. Why? Because if you see what's going on in the world, we are already prosecuted. We are already prosecuted in heaven. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened with the nations and the children of Israel. Everybody thinks that the land of Israel and the state of Israel is their business. And they can tell us what to do. And we have to listen. And if they think that Yerushalayim is not ours, we have to say amen about everything that they say. Dear ladies, listen very carefully. If we wouldn't have slandering and false hatred among us, then all of the voices of the nations will be closed. There wouldn't be a nation and the tongue in the nations that can speak against the children of Israel, because the children of Israel are the sons and the daughters of the king. We are his firstborns. We are the sons and daughters of a king, and we should behave like the sons and daughters of a king. And we are example morally to all of the nations. We are the ones that should announce the name of Hashem in the whole world. We shouldn't emulate what the Goyim are doing. They are also his children. But they got 7 commandments of Noach. That's what Hashem wanted for them. And we got 630 commandments from the Torah and 7 commandments from the sages. Together, 620. 620 are the numerical value of a crown of Keter, because we are the crown of Hashem. So, dear ladies, this is our responsibility. So when we do a fast of speech, and usually every year we do over here, we organize groups, part of the groups with a Tehillim of Russian Tehillim, part with English, part with Hebrew. We have, Baruch Hashem, all the languages. And Bli Neder will inform everybody, Bezrat Hashem, when we do the fast of speech. And after the do, we read Tehillim. Usually we read like 18 and 20 Tehillim altogether for 2 hours. We don't speak, we don't text, we don't do anything. Just read Tehillim together. After that, B'siyata Dishman, we do Sudat Amenim. And we dance, and we are happy for Hashem that gave us the zchut. So it's a big thing to do Ta'anit Dibur B'siyata Dishmaya. It's better just to sit. So you can do it, you can divide at 24 hours a day. You can also divide it to all of your friends, 24 friends. And each one can take an hour during the day, the hour that is appropriate for her. And that hour she won't speak. She won't say any Lashon Hara. The only thing she will say is Tehillim or Daven, but she won't speak anything that is, it's Chas v'Shalom against somebody else. And if it's hard for an hour, each one can be 48 women, each one can take half an hour, if it's hard for an hour. And you can take a different time of the day, B'siyata Dishmaya. But you can do it also, Bezrat Hashem. And while you're doing fast of speech, you can still bless over the fruits, dear ladies, or bless over the food and eat, but it's better for that hour to read Tehillim, Perek Shira, Shirim, to be holy with your mouth. And to say that this is in the merit of this and this, for Refuah Shlema, merit for Zivugim, merit for having children, merit B'siyata Dishmaya for Matir Asurim, taking a person from prison, even from himself when you see that the Yetzer Hara is Chas v'Shalom controlling you. So, and Parnasa. And it's a big segula to do this for 40 days, to divide the day to 24 hours, to give the day. And you can do it also with people that, because at night we're all asleep. But when it's night in our place, in here, over here, it's day in Israel. So you can divide it with people over the world, that on that, when it's night here, they have the day, so they will take the hours of the night over here, and we'll take the hours that it's night over there, and we, Baruch Hashem, Kol Am Yisrael Achim, we are all brothers and sisters. So it's a big thing, B'siyata Dishmaya. So I would like to show you, so we're going back to the first, you saw how many secrets are in the first verse in Chumash Shmot. So we're going back to the first verse in Chumash Shmot, and I made different colors so you can see it. And it's the end letters of the Ele Shmot Bnei Israel. These are the names of the children of Israel, Habaim, that are coming, Mitzrayim, to Egypt. You see the red mark? So I'm looking at the Safei Tevot. So we have the Ele and these, the Hey, and then Shmot, the names, we have the Taf, and then Bnei, the children, we have the Yud, and then we have Israel, the Lamed, and then we have Abayim that come. So, dear ladies, all of these letters add up to Tehillim. You see? Tehillim. Then we go to the end letters, the blue ones. Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, Habayim that come, Mitzrayim, to Egypt. So we have Bnei, we have Yud. Then we have Israel, we have Lamed. We have Abaim, it's Mem. And then we have Mitzrayim. What is this? Milah, Brit Milah, circumcision. Milah. You see, Brit Milah. And what is very interesting, that Milah, Mem is 40, Yud is 10, Lamed is 30, Hey is 5. How much is it together? 85. You know what 85 is? Peh, mouth. So the circumcision equals in numerical value to the word peh. So dear ladies, this is Milah. Now let's go to the green. You see the green? Mitzrayim, which is Egypt. Et Yaakov. It's Yaakov, Ish uveito, all of the children of Yaakov and all of his household. So let's look at it. We have Mitzrayim is Hey. Oh wait, I will write it with this. Mitzrayma is Hey, and then we have Et, Taf, then we have Yaakov Bet, and then we have Ish, Shin, and then we have a Beito Vav. What is it, Ken? Tshuva. It's Tshuva. Look how beautiful it is. This is Tshuva. So the Midrash says, Chazal say, what is the connection? We have Tehillim, we have Milah, Brit Milah, circumcision, and then we have Tshuva. The Arizal says, this is in the secrets of the Torah. He says, because we light the candles on Chanukah, and the light of the candles of Chanukah is the light that was for the first human being, 36 hours, the big light that Hashem made only for tzaddikim, that you can see through the world, from the beginning of the world to the end of the world. And Hashem hid this light for the tzaddikim that are going to, Bezrat Hashem, to be in the times of Mashiach. But on Chanukah, all of the candles, the light of the candles is part of this light. And Arizal says that this light influences the month of Tevet and the month of Shvat. And you remember, before Chanukah, we studied that this light helps B'siyata Dishma to do the fixing of spilling the sperm of men in vain. Zera levatala. You remember that we spoke that Motzi Zera levatala. He who spills his sperm in vain takes his mazal, his luck, away from him. You see, mazal, this is motzi zera levadala. He who spills his sperm in vain, the initials are mem, zayin, lamed, which is mazal. How do we protect our men? It's written in Tehillim, Perek, in chapter 45, Kol kvuda bat melech pnima, memishbetzot, mishbetzot zahav levusha. This is from Tehillim, chapter 45, that all of the dignity of a bat melech, a daughter of a king, is from inside, which means because she's modest. She doesn't go outside so other men will look at her. She's beautiful to her husband inside. And then, once she's like this, all of our garment and our clothing are the garment and the clothing of gold, just like the high priest. And what is the initials of mishbetzot zahav levusha, the garment? Mazal. Mazal. You see mazal? Luck. So how do we protect our men, our husbands, children, sons, b'siyata dishma? How do we protect our brothers, our fathers? By being modest. Just by being modest. It says that in the merit of righteous women, the children of Israel went out of Egypt. And in their merit, livriut emet, in their merit, b'siyata dishma, we're going to go out of Egypt, out of this exile now. The exile of Edom. So we need we have the strength to do it. We just need to determine with ourselves that little by little we're accepting Bezat Hashem, what Hashem wants us to do. We need to be tzniut. And one doesn't have a lot of mitzvot. But if she's tzniut, if she's modest, she covered all of the mitzvot. She doesn't have mitzvot aseh. She covers all of the mitzvot. Why? Because when Hashem created Chava, in every part that he created her, he said, Hey tznuah, be modest, be modest. And he created her from the rib, because he said the rib, even if a man stands naked, the rib is covered. And that's why when he created every part of her, he says, be modest, be modest. When we pass from this world, the first thing as women that we ask, were you modest? What shall we tell Hashem? That our friends weren't modest, so part of the chevra, part of the social place that we were, there won't be any excuse. So Hashem says, be tzniut, cover yourself. See that your elbow is covered. See that the skirt is underneath the knee. See that you have garbionim. Stockings, Ken. See that you are modest with your ipur. Makeup, don't have a makeup that shouts, because if you look at the Yeshayahu, the prophet, it says over there, dear ladies, that part of the reason that the first temple was ruined because of the daughters of Israel, that when they went out, they were filled with makeup, and they walked and they dressed up that all the men outside would look at them. This is not the purpose of the daughters of a king. We should be beautiful for our husbands. We should understand that we are over here temporary. It's not forever. We are going to be judged on the other side. If we came to this world and we meet each other, we have a fixing with each other. We already met each other in a different reincarnation. It's not in vain. And why do we come to this world? In order to fix sins that we have between us and other human beings. So this is the time, B'siyata Dishma, to listen to Hashem. Because the clock is already ticking. And if you look, Shlomo HaMelech says, King Solomon says, that history only repeats itself. And if you look very carefully, that's what's happening now. So dear ladies, Bezrat Hashem, we should prepare for Mashiach. So how should we prepare ourselves for Mashiach? We'll do tshuva. So it says, why is it connected? So let's go to Avodah Zarah, Tehillim, circumcision, and tshuva, and repenting. So let's go, Bezrat Hashem, to Masechet Avodah Zarah, to the Gemara, page 5. It says over there, Amar Rabbi Yochanan mishum Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. Rabbi Yochanan said, in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, זכותם תגן עלינו. לא היה ראוי דוד לאותו מעשה עם בת שבע. King David wasn't supposed to be considered that he made a sin with בת שבע. ולא היו ישראל ראויים לאותו מעשה של חטא העגל. And the children of Israel wasn't supposed to sin with the sin of the golden calf. חטא העגל. So dear ladies, why this happened? Because it was a decree from Hashem that any other person that will sin, you send him to King David and you show him that Hashem forgave King David when he did what he did with Bathsheba. And the Gemara says that King David didn't do a sin because Bathsheba was intended for him from Bereshit, from the beginning of the world. Bathsheba was his zivug, his basher. This was Bathsheba. But why did Hashem give her to Uriah Hittite? Because, dear ladies, when King David killed Goliath, you remember, with the stones, he killed Goliath. Goliath had a sword, and King David wanted to take off Goliath's head with the sword of Goliath himself. But the sword was in an artik, like a bag next to him, and there was a secret how to open it. And dear ladies, the only one who knew was the shamash of Goliath, the person who helped Goliath, which was Uriah Hittite. So King David asked him to reveal the secret so he can take out the sword. And when he revealed the secret, he said, what will you give me? A reward. He said, I'm going to give you one of the daughters of Israel to get married to. Hashem said, this is how you respect the daughters of Israel. He's not Jewish. So he said, I'm going to give him your zivug. Your wife that's supposed to be for you from the moment you were born. Wow. So he gave him Bathsheba. And dear ladies, it was in the children of Israel, when they went to war, they had to write a get for their women. Why? Because if something happened to them, that they won't become agunot, because it's a big sin to be aguna. Because if a woman is aguna and she goes with another man, Elohim yishmor lo alenu, it can cause mamzerim. So it's a big sin for the children of Israel. So dear lady, because she's considered married and she goes with another man and she becomes pregnant and she has a child, he's mamzer and he's not allowed to come among the children of Israel for 10 generations. So dear ladies, in order that this won't happen, all of the men, before they went to war, they gave a get to their wives. So King David didn't really sin, but there was a decree from heaven that everybody that sinned, individuals, can see an example from King David that did tshuva, and Hashem accepted his tshuva. And not only this, but Mashiach ben David comes from him. The Mashiach comes from King David, Bezrat Hashem. So, and it says, Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Medinov, Igra de Pirkas, Zchuto Tagen Elenu, says this. In Tehillim chapter 106, it's written, Mi yemalel gvurot Hashem. Yemalel means break. Who will break? Yemalel gvurot, the judgment of Hashem. So it says in Tehillim, Yashmiya will say, Kol Tilato, the whole book of Tehillim. So he who has judgment upon him should read the whole book of Tehillim B'siyata Dishmaya, and with this break all of the judgment. The Gvurot, which is Din, will become Chesed. This is Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, the name of Hashem of Chesed, by reading the whole Tehillim. And the most powerful thing to do is to read it in front of the Kotel HaMa'aravi, the Western Wall. Bakotel, to stand there, read for the whole Tehillim from the beginning till the end without speaking in the middle. It's very powerful. And Hashem B'siyata Dishmaya answers all of your wishes there. So dear ladies, this is the Tehillim. It says, B'Masechet Sofrim, it says over there that the Tehillim that King David wrote, the number of Tehillim were 147 chapters of Tehillim. 147. Kuf Mem Zayin Mizmorim shekatuv. You see, Kuf Mem Zayin Mizmorim shekatuv b'Sefer Tehillim, that are written in the book of Tehillim. Keneged are parallel. Keneged Kuf Mem Zayin Shnotav Shel Yaakov. Parallel to the years that Yaakov Avinu was alive. 147 years. ללמדך שכל קילוסין שישראל מקלסין לקדוש ברוך הוא כנגד שנותיו של יעקב. To teach you that all of the reading of Tehillim, that we praise the name of Hashem, is parallel to the number of years that Yaakov Avinu was alive. 147. But you will tell me there's 150 chapters, nachon? So at the beginning, the original was 147, and then Chazal, the sages, changed it to 150. And why did they change it to 150? I'll explain why it's 147, but I'll also explain why it's one. מה?
You know which are the changes?
לא ממש, אני לא יכולה להצביע, אבל איפה שיש את הפרקים האלה, 3 פסוקים בסך הכל, זה הצ'יינג'ס, הוציאו אותם מהכלל. כן, כן, על אלה שהם 3 פרקים. Dear ladies, so בסייעתא דשמיא, דרור, כן. Okay, dear ladies, it says in chapter 84, Pei Daled, if I remember right, Dror Ken in Tehillim. Dror means freedom, and Ken, Kuf is 100, Nun is 50, it's 150. Nachon? It means, what is 150? Also Kas, anger. Chaf is 20, Ayin is 70, Samech is 60. How much is it together? 150. The same thing. In order that we will take away the anger, chas v'shalom, of Hashem from upon the children of Israel, Dror is freedom, Ken is anger, we read Tehillim, and the Tehillim takes off the anger of Hashem from us, that we don't listen sometimes to what Hashem wants us to do. And it's not in purpose, it's objectively very hard. Why? Because 2,000 years we are in exile from the second temple that was ruined. And we don't remember that we were very respected. We are the sons of a king and the daughters of a king, and we don't remember this. And what happens is that a lot of us are just emulating what the Goyim do, the non-Jewish people, with clothing, with the way that we have our hair, with the makeup on ourselves, and we forgot the uniqueness of the children of Israel. So may Hashem Bezrat Hashem help us, and with this may Hashem find our schut, our merit Bezrat Hashem, and protect all of us. Amen. So dear ladies, why is it 147? Why did King David write 147 chapters? Because, dear ladies, and this is very important, you remember the first human being sinned and did not listen to Hashem. And his sins were 3. He ate from the tree of knowledge, good and bad. It was Avodah Zarah, worshipping other gods. It was Shfichut Damim, killing, because there was death after he ate from the tree of knowledge, Shfichut Damim. And then there was also Gilui Arayot. It was intimate relationship that was forbidden because the snake the snake put part of his aura around Chava. So it's Gilui Arayot. These are the three sins that it's written, Yareg ve'bal ya'avor, that you should die and not go over these sins. So dear ladies, Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah, who fixed it? Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu was willing to die for Hashem, and he broke all of the false wood and idols that his father had, and Nimrod that said that he is God, la'alenu. Nimrod, which was the king in Babylon at that time, he said he made himself like a god, Shelo neda, and Avraham Avinu was willing to die for this. So he was the one that fixed Avodah Zarah. Shfichut damim, death that came to the world. Who fixed it? Yitzchak. Why? Because he was willing to be a sacrifice on the altar. And who fixed Arayot? Dear ladies, Yaakov Avinu. Why? Because he had 12 righteous sons. So you'll ask me, how come Yaakov Avinu had 12 righteous sons? And Avraham Avinu had 2 sons, one Yitzchak and one Ishmael. One was good and one wasn't good. And then Yitzchak had 2 sons. It was Yaakov and Esav. One was good and one was wicked. But Yaakov, his bed was shlema, a whole, because everybody was righteous over there. Kol hashvatim hayu tzadikim. Because Avraham Avinu fixed Avodah Zarah, the idleness, he fixed the idleness, but still there was 2 sins that had to be fixed. Shfichut damim, death, and also arayot, intimate relationships that is forbidden. So he had Yitzchak and he had Ishmael, because there was still averot, sins to fix. Yitzchak had Yaakov, but still there was a sin to fix, which was arayot, intimate relationship in incest, incest that was supposed to be fixed. But Yaakov Avinu, already the 2 sins were fixed. He had the last one. And dear ladies, let's look at this. Avraham Avinu worshipped Hashem in the measure of chesed, of mercy. He opened his tent in 4 ways of the wind in order that everybody will come and eat and drink and praise the name of Hashem. Yitzchak worshipped Hashem indeed, in judgment, Yitzchak. And Yaakov Avinu worshipped Hashem in Tiferet. Tiferet means that it's the combination of rachamim, of mercy plus din, judgment. So the only one who could soften the judgment and make the judgment mercy is Yaakov Avinu, because he is the combination of both of them. Ish tam yoshev ohalim. He is a pure person that sits among the tents of Avraham Avinu and Yitzchak. So he is the one, b'siyata dishmaya, that can soften the judgments. And because Yaakov Avinu, he is the one that also fixed incest, then David HaMelech, that everybody think that he did avera, sin, with intimate relationship that are forbidden, had to fix it with Tehillim by the numbers of Yaakov Avinu. Because this is what Yaakov Avinu fixed in the first human being. And he is the only one that can they soften the judgments and have mercy, that Hashem will have mercy, b'siyata dishmaya, upon him and Klal Yisrael. This is Yaakov Avinu. That's why b'siyata dishmaya, Tehillim is a strong tool to ask from Hashem, Bezat Hashem, to soften the judgments. If chas v'shalom, a person has this sin of spilling his sperm in vain, part of the fixing of it is first at night to read the 4 chapters of Tehillim, 1 to 4, before he goes to sleep. A second thing is to read the Tikkun HaKlali of Rebbe Nachman Breslev. It's especially for this. All of these chapters of Tehillim are in this order, especially for this. To read the whole Tehillim is excellent for everything, to take off all judgments from us. And especially on Shabbat. And if we can't read it alone on Shabbat, we should, on the phone before Shabbat, call all our friends, divide the Tehillim among us, and each one will read part of it together on Shabbat. We finish the whole book of Tehillim. A mitzvah that a lot of people join together to do, even if you read only 3 chapters, And there are other the women that read, dear ladies, it's considered that you yourself, because you did it together, read the whole book alone. זה מצווה שאנשים עושים ביחד, נחשב שכל אחד עשה את כל המצווה לבד. עד כדי כך.
What was again 1 to 4, chapter 1 to 4?
זה פרקים 1 עד 4, א' עד ד' בתהילים, זה חלק מהתיקונים של זרע לבטלה.
אפשר לקרוא זה בלילה גם?
כן, כן, את זה אפשר לקרוא, כשהולך לישון א' עד ד'. Another thing, גברים. Dear ladies, another thing, Arizal says it's good for a man that spilled his sperm in vain to read מתיקוני הזוהר, chapter 48, בראשית תמן. Chapter 48 to read this. Another thing is there's a special Shema Israel on bed for men in order to help themselves. And why is this? Because this is the only sin that creates demons. This is the only sin that creates demons, because when a man spills in sperm in vain, lo alenu, he creates demons. And what kind of demons? The sperm is the wife of the Samech Mem, which is the wife of the evil inclination, gets pregnant from this sperm. And he has children that are demons. These are his children. So, dear ladies, the whole tikkun, that's why we have over a hint in the first sentence of Chumash Shmot, Parashat Shmot, the portion of Shmot, that Hashem gives a hint over here, in order to do tshuva for the sin of spreading the sperm in vain, you should read Tehillim, Bezrat Hashem. I will stop over here, and I would like to speak about Rabbi Israel Abu Chatzer, זכותו תגן עלינו, הבבא סאלי. You know, the Baba Sali was so righteous, זכותו תגן עלינו, that he tried 3 times to come to Israel. The 3rd time he stayed in Israel, in Yerushalayim. And then, and then he went to Netivot. I would like to explain something. When he was here the first time, he told the rabbis that he sees the Shekhinah, the divine presence, walking in the street, like floating in the street, and the Shekhinah, the divine presence, is crying. The second time he came, he said, there's a lot of impurity in the streets because people are not modest. And because of this, men look at women, and they don't have good thoughts. And when they go back home, when they are intimate with their wives, which this is called being together, it's like going inside the holiest of holiest in the temple, the Beit HaMikdash. And when you have in your mind another woman except for your wife, it's like you're worshipping other gods. Or you have, or the woman has, other thoughts about another man, it's like you're worshipping lo alenu, other gods. So he says there's a lot of impurity in the streets, and because of that, he said the Shekhinah is crying inside the houses. The 3rd time that he came, he says, I don't see the Shekhinah, not in the streets and not in the houses, but I do see the Shekhinah only in the Western world, Bakotel HaMaravi. This tells us about ourselves something. We need to do tshuva. Hashem loves us. Hashem is waiting. Every morning that he wakes us up, it's a new reality. And he says, Hashem to himself, now my daughter and my sons are going to do tshuva. Dear ladies, you understand that if the soul is the one that is holding the body, without the soul, the body falls. It's only a clothing. We are wearing a clothing over a clothing. The body is only a clothing to the soul. The soul is the one that is holding the body. The soul is the one that gives us the ability to walk. The soul is from Hashem. He's our partner. This body goes back to earth, dear ladies. So we need to remember this, B'siyata Dishmaya, and make ourselves limit the place of the evil inclination, Yetzer Hara, which sits on a left room in the heart. בחדר השמאלי של הלב נמצא יצר הרע. In our left room, בחדר הימני נמצא היצר הטוב. In the right room of our heart is the good chamber, is the good, בסייעתא דשמיא, is the good inclination. We should widen the legs of the good inclination, and we should make the legs of the evil inclination narrow, ken, mamash. But this is only if we try to accept upon ourselves the mitzvot of Hashem. So even if it's hard for us to cover the head and we are married, or divorced or widows, which we have to cover our heads, at least on Shabbat, before lighting the candles and after Melav Malka, the fourth meal, Bezat Hashem, to cover your heads. And a little by little you'll feel that you want to do more. And we add another thing, Bezat Hashem, Netilat Yadayim, which is very important. Everything that we do, another and another thing. I would like to give an example. When Abba Basali Zchutot HaGen came to the land of Israel from Morocco, he was in a ship and he was studying in the belly of the ship. But meanwhile, there was a storm outside. So they went to the captain of the ship and they told him, listen, there's a very righteous rabbi inside the ship. We should go and ask him what to do, because it was such a storm that the ship was supposed to break. So they went in, he didn't even feel this, he was studying Torah. And they asked him and they told him, look what was happening. You can do something to save all of us? So he's the grandchild of Rabbi Yaakov Abuchatzer Zchutot HaGen Elenu. You remember his Yortzeit was on the 2nd of Shvat. The 2nd of Shvat? Yeah. No, it was on the 20th of Tevet with the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon. Both of them, we had also Sudat HaMeni for both of them here, Zchutam Tagen Elenu. So he took the Gavia, that he did the Kiddush with it, and it was the Gavia of his grandfather. He poured wine to the Gavia, to the cup. He went on board the ship. He took the wine and he said, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, borei pri hagefen. He drank from this and he spilled what was left to the ocean. And in a second, the whole ocean was calmed down, like a mirror. Zaba Basali Zchutot HaGen Elenu. I would like to tell you something. There was a man that used to give donation. I'll give this story and then I have to give you, because it's late, but I want to tell you this story. There was a man, he was a constructor. He used to give all the time donations to Baba Sali, in order that he will give it out to all of the Talmidei Chachamim, the scholars in Torah, so they can study Torah Bezat Hashem and can have food on the table. One day, when he came to the Baba Sali, all the time that he came, he always greeted him very friendly. How are you, Chavivi? You know, a nice man. He used to greet him very nice every time he came. One day he came, and the Baba Sali didn't stop shouting at him. And he shouted, and everybody standing there. And he embarrasses him in front of everyone. He was shouting so loud that his family was afraid that something will happen to him. And he continued to shout, and then he said, please get out of my house. I don't want you to see you in my house. This person was with tears in his eyes. He went out, he didn't understand what he did. He didn't do anything bad. Livriut, emet, he didn't understand what he did. He went out and he said, what shall I do now? But it was time to go back to the construction place that he worked in. And he had to take the workers from there that were not Jewish and to bring them back home. So he was driving, and he's driving b'Mitzpeh Ramon. And there were, at Mitzpeh Ramon, it has like a tehom, איך אומרים tehom?
Valley.
No, tehom, like a valley. You know, on the one side you can fall with your car. It's like a cliff. It goes like this, but on the other side it's chas v'shalom. So dear ladies is driving, and the car in front of him, he doesn't think, because he still doesn't understand what happened. Why did he behave to him like this? And the car in front of him stopped. Put to the brakes. Suddenly, he didn't expect this. He didn't see it. He went into the car. His car turned all around, fell from the edge of the road, and rolled down the valley. And what he remembers, he goes out, but the two men that were with him died at that moment. He crawls out, and he sees that nothing happened to him. He goes up to the road, and stops the car. They call the police, they call the ambulance, they're both dead. And he takes a cab and goes straight to the Baba Sali, Zchutot HaGen Elenu. And when the Baba Sali sees him, he greets him nicely, he hugs him, he gives him a kiss. He said, Baruch Hashem, I was waiting for you to come back. Wow. So he said, please, Rabbi, tell me what's wrong. You embarrassed me, you shouted at me, I didn't stop crying. What was wrong? He says, when I saw you coming in, I saw that there was a destructive angel that was connected to your left leg. You see, the destructive angels, they go to the part in the body that you didn't do a mitzvah with it, and from there it starts. So what does King David says? Al tavoeni regel ga'ava. That chas v'shalom, we won't have pride, but pride is connected to leg. Al tavoeni regel ga'ava. Regel, leg. A leg of pride. Because when you have pride, you also use your legs to go everywhere and to show off this pride. He says, until now you were very modest and you didn't have pride in the mitzvot, in the good deeds that you did. But the last deed that you did, you had pride that you did it. And a destructive angel was connected to your leg, and I saw lo alenu malach hamavet. I saw the angel of death waiting for you, and I couldn't save you. The only thing I could have done for you is to embarrass you, to break your pride, that make you cry, and this is a true tshuva. And this I had to do in front of everybody in order to save you. And then the angel of death took those two people, because he has to take somebody else instead of this person. And they deserved it, otherwise he won't take them, because all mishpat u'mishpat tzedek. So this was the Baba Sali Zchuto Tagen Elanu. He saw the spiritual world around us, which we do not see it. In these words, I would like to bless all of us, that his merit will, Bezrat Hashem, will stand for all the children of Israel in the whole world. And Mashiach will be revealed now, Bezrat Hashem. And we'll hear Eliyahu Navi Zachur Latov, L'olam yipared adam michavero bidvar halacha yachid verabim halacha kerabim. Hashem bless you, I love you. Thank you for the zchut, thank you Hashem. You're welcome next week. We are going